Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Outdoorsman YouTube channel. My name is Will. I am the Outdoorsman, and in today's video, we are going to be setting up an emergency preparedness guide. I'm going to be going over with you 6 key steps that I think that every prepared citizen should take to prepare for any type of real-world emergency situation. On this channel, we cover everything: situations, or SHTF, prepping, firearms, tactics, bugging out, bugging in. We cover everything on this channel. We even go on some adventures from time to time. So there's going to be something here for each and every one of you watching. New viewers, hello. Returning viewers, thank you for coming back. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Ford Group 00. This guy's awesome. He comments on every single video that I post. He shares my videos everywhere. I've never met him, but I love him. Thank you so much. I think it's a him. I hope you're a him, but thank you for tuning into the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon account. I'm not asking you for money, but what I am telling you is that over there, there's going to be a step-by-step guide with checklists that you guys can print out for free to help set up your own emergency preparedness guide. Situations wait for no one, so let's get right into this video. Now, first thing we need to do, ladies and gentlemen, is assess the risks that we actually may face. We need to examine our local environment. You know, what natural disasters could happen to us where we live? What potential emergencies, could be common in our area? Again, do we get earthquakes? Do we live in a flood zone? Are we in the Communist Republic of California or Massachusetts? Do we get wildfires constantly? Do we live in a big, major Democrat-run city? Do we have a bigger chance of running into civil unrest than somewhere else in the country? Just remember, folks, we need to be super realistic about this. It is super fun, to prep and plan for the zombie apocalypse or the great EMP of 2035. In worst case scenario, we're all attacked by land-roving mutant dolphins.
God, no, please, what is that? Don't tell me.
But we really need to focus on actual real-world scenarios. Now, I don't know about you, but it seems to me that lately we've been having a lot of real-world examples. We have had record wildfires in California, hurricanes that decimated the Carolinas, and parts of Florida. We have been seeing civil unrest rising up, in our streets. People are burning, they're looting businesses. So trust me when I tell you, folks, it actually can happen to you. I don't remember anything if I don't write it down. So what I like to do is grab a piece of paper and start making a list of all the potential situations that I could find myself in where I live. And I'm going to start with the most viable threat at the top and work my way down. 4 or 5 things on the list is more than enough. And I'm going to take that list and I'm going to use that to tailor an emergency preparedness guide for myself, my family, and my friends in case, well, the shit hits the fan. Now, just remember, folks, I know I said it already, but we need to focus on real threats. And if you actually focus on a real threat, yes, I know EMPs are a possibility. I get it. Not likely going to happen. So we need to focus on real threats. And like I said, if you do that, you will be better prepared to tackle what's most important and make sure that you're spending your precious time on actually preparing for things that could happen. This just in, ladies and gentlemen, the Outdoorsman says you're an idiot if you think an EMP is going to happen. I didn't say that, so don't go thinking it. Now, this is step number 2, and I think this is a really important one. I think that a lot of people either forget or maybe just don't realize how long things can take to get back to normal after a disaster. I mean, it's 2025 and there's still people out there wearing friggin' masks. So, when you're putting together your emergency supplies, the most important thing is to have enough supplies to be self-sufficient for 72 hours. You may be asking yourself, Will, why 72 hours? What's so important about that? Well, honestly, I think that's a pretty basic benchmark. FEMA, as well as other government agencies, they recommend having at least 3 days of supplies, on hand, because they say that that is the typical amount of time that it may take for help to arrive. Now, folks, I don't know when you're going to be watching this video. This is the great thing about YouTube. But the way things are going right now, it kind of looks like FEMA's not even going to be a thing anymore.
I'll also be signing an executive order to begin the process of fundamentally reforming and overhauling FEMA, or maybe getting rid of FEMA. I think, frankly, FEMA is not good.
But I have to admit that it is a pretty solid guideline. So you should have your 72-hour kit, packed in a good plastic bin, plastic totes, and those plastic storage bins at like Job Lot. They're fairly inexpensive, and you can put a lot of supplies into them. But really, folks, it's more about how you organize those supplies. You want your kit to be super organized, not only for yourself, but for your family or anybody else who has to get into there. Having an organized kit that's well labeled is going to save valuable time when you're in a high pressure situation. For instance, I like to keep my electronics and flashlights, closer to the top of the bin and put the clothing and water and food, towards the bottom. Now, I really don't want to get too deep into the weeds on the 72-hour kit because in a couple of weeks, we're going to be having a video coming out that's going to show you exactly how to prepare your kit, what bins I recommend, what items I think that you should have inside of it. So again, just make sure you've subscribed to the channel. That way you get notified when that video comes out. Okay, step 3, ladies and gentlemen, firearms training. Yes, I preach about it every single time. Now, not every emergency situation is going to require a firearm like this AR-15 here. Sometimes we might be in a wildfire or we might be in a, in a flood, and what's going to happen in a wildfire?
The fire's shooting at us!
However, in the case of, civil unrest or a, major breakdown of order, you're definitely going to have to be prepared to defend yourself. Now, being able to use a firearm effectively, it comes down to training. It's not just about owning one, it's about knowing how to use it safely, accurately, and efficiently under pressure. Now, training really helps you understand when it's appropriate to use force, how quickly you can assess a threat, and most importantly, and I say most importantly, when not to use a firearm. For example, like I said before, during a hurricane, your focus should be on staying safe, not being prepared to get into a gunfight. Firearms training, well, that's also going to help you with critical skills like threat identification, proper handling of this firearm and decision-making under extremely high stress. Firearms training is vital for not only your safety, but the safety of the people that you love and care about. If you're watching this channel and you're new to firearms, go out and get yourself some training. If you live here on the East Coast, send me an email and I will put you in touch with some really good instructors. And if you don't think you need firearms training, I'm just here to tell you that you really do. Breaker 19, breaker 19. We're sitting down here in the basement filming a video. How you come back at me? Copy down 1, 2, 3. Now, when it comes to survival and being a prepared citizen, I think the most crucial thing is staying in communications with other members of your group. During some types of emergencies, these Chinese devices that I'm filming on and that you're watching, where they're stealing all of our data, well, they might not work, and that's why having a really decent set of two-way radios is paramount. Now, a lot of you returning viewers, I have several videos on radio and communications, but I am a big fan of these Bofang radios. These radios are extremely reliable despite what you're going to hear all over the internet. They are extremely affordable, and most importantly for me, they're very easily programmable using a software program called Chirp. Now, all my radios have a dedicated frequency for our group chat. And these frequencies are a little sneaky, a little tricky. Yeah, you're going to be able to pick them up if you're scanning 30,000 hertz in a nanosecond, but for the most part, it's not encrypted, but it's encrypted enough for us. My group can also communicate through Meshtastic. I highly recommend you Google Meshtastic devices because they're absolutely phenomenal. I'll put a couple of links down below in the description to some of my other radio videos in case you want to learn a little bit more about the Bofang and how to program them. All right, let's talk about the big one, ladies and gentlemen, securing your home. Now, whether you're preparing for a natural disaster, severe weather, or any other type of emergency, safety of your home is key. Your home needs to be secure. It needs to be well organized. And the purpose of that is to keep your family safe no matter what. First things first, you want to make sure that all of your emergency supplies are easily accessible and each member of your family knows exactly where they are. Maybe it's your go bag. maybe it's your 72-hour kit. You need to know where this stuff is. You got to make sure you have enough food and water. I'm not a big preppery guy. I'm not a big hoarding kind of food guy, but I definitely have enough food in my entire house for 72 hours. But here's the thing, it's always good to have a little bit extra on hand because you never know who's going to stop by. You might have company. Your neighbors might see that you're the only house with power. They might come down, some random people walking through the woods trying to get home. Whatever the case may be, they may see you and they may stop by your house. So you need to have enough supplies to take care of those people should you decide to let them into your home. Remember, our primary goal is our family, not strangers. Now, as far as medications goes, I don't think I am well equipped to talk about that at all. I don't take any type of medication whatsoever, other than this stuff right here. So I really need your help on this one. So if you're kind of the person who takes a lot of meds or you need meds to survive, if you could please down in the comments, if you could write a quick little comment about how you store your meds and maybe where you buy some of them online or how you ask your doctor about it so that you know that you have enough medication to get you through 72 hours. Now here's another thing. When I was a kid, we always had that little strip of paper or, contact sheet on the refrigerator, emergency contacts list. Now I know this tradition stopped because we all have cell phones and we just make notes on our laptops. But what if I can't access my phone? What if the battery's drained? What if my wife has all those emergency contacts on her phone and I can't access them? Hell, I barely remember my own phone number on a good day. So having some sort of emergency contact number, including the non-911 line of your local police and fire department, and stick it in your bag, stick it in your 72-hour kit, or magnetize it to your fridge. Having those phone numbers for everybody to see is not a bad idea, especially when you know and I know that you can't even remember half the contacts in your phone. Another thing I think that's overlooked when it comes to securing your home, and it's a little bit more nuanced, is having a communications plan with the rest of your family. Not only having a plan, but having each member of your family understanding that plan. You should walk through your home with your family and explain where to go and what to do in case of any type of emergency. And I truly believe that you should practice these plans so that everybody in your family kind of knows how to act and how to act quickly when it counts. We used to do this stuff when I was a kid. We'd have fire drills at school. They don't do that anymore. It's a good tip, guys. Take the time to rehearse your plan, make adjustments as you need them, keep supplies up to date. You'll be more prepared. And you'll be better off to handle, whatever situation comes your way. Now this part right here, these are just some pieces of kit that I think it's worth spending a little bit of extra money on in case you actually need to survive. There are literally hundreds of thousands of products out there on the internet. And a lot of those products can help you survive any type of situation. But unfortunately for you and for me, the products that are being promoted by a lot of these other, YouTube preppery people, they're garbage, they're junk. They're just showing them to make a quick bit of coin. Oh, what? No, Zippix toothpicks? Yeah, just use code ODM10, save 10% at checkout. ODM10, zippixtoothpicks.com. Now, I know a lot of you watching this video, you've got a lot of gear, you've got tons of stuff, but I just want to talk really quick about a couple of things that you might not know about or may not have thought about. So if you guys could with me, just imagine that you've just been hit by a massive storm or a natural disaster. You're completely isolated from the world. If you're in the Carolinas right now watching this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, search and rescue teams, they will eventually come looking for you, but usually those operations happen during the daytime, but increasingly more with modern technology, they're happening in the evenings and into the nighttime because most ground first responders have some type of night vision. And the aircraft, flying helicopters, whatever, they're running FLIR and they're also running night vision. That's why I always have in my house, where I can grab it in every single one of my bags, some type of IR signaling device. Now this one that you're seeing right here, the Streamlight 14034, this is one of the best options. Not only does it have a visible light, but it also has an IR light and an IR strobe. Now if rescue teams, if they're looking for you, they can see these IR signatures from miles away. And trust me, you want to be seen. A whistle. It's been a long time since I've seen one of these in anybody's emergency bag. This item right here has saved hundreds, if not thousands of lives. You start blowing that whistle and you're going to attract attention. So if there's one small item that you should probably have for any type of disaster, it's definitely going to be a whistle. Now, I think I've talked about this in the last 3 videos. I don't know, maybe it's just stuck on my brain, but a emergency blanket, or what we used to call back in the day, a space blanket. Now, even if your clothing is soaking wet, yeah, we want to take those clothes off, yada, yada, whatever, but you can put this space blanket on and it's going to reflect the heat off your body. It's going to hit the mylar. It's going to come right back at you. Not only is it going to keep you warm, but it can also be used as a signaling device outside. They're highly reflective. Now, I can tell you right now, I have had hypothermia 3 times in my life. And all 3 of those times, I did not have any type of emergency blanket. I have learned from this. Trust me, folks, get one. Hypothermia is not fun. It fucking sucks. You can very easily die. So for $3 or $4 online, get a space blanket or an emergency blanket. Have peace of mind that you have it. Where do some of my viewers live out there? You don't have to tell me exactly where, but maybe what state, and maybe some of the challenges that you face, because here in New England, the Northeast, we pretty much just get snow. We've had a flood from time to time, but it never really happens. And I would love to know some of your experiences, with natural disasters and real emergencies that I have not yet to experience. And I'm sure a lot of my other viewers would ask the same question. I always respond to every comment, usually to the subscribers first, and then I go into the next one. So make sure you've subscribed to the channel. Subscribing really helps the channel grow, and I cannot thank you guys enough for sticking with me over these past few months. The channel's doing really well, and it's because of you guys. Thank you so much. My name's Will, I'm the Outdoorsman, and I'll see you next time.